Good morning and hearty greetings to all of you. We are definitely congratulating Trinity Group led by Joseph Saab, and last 25 years he has been mentioning also, and I think this BFSI sector, they must have started recently, having done global connectivity through various events. The BFSI sector also will get more and more attention from this particular chamber, and it will add to the already what is happening in the Indian context, whatever technological changes, I think that will give a boost. So that is the first that we must congratulate, and also all the exhibitors who all the government of Maharashtra, some of the financial institutions, some of the fintech innovators, and all of them have come here. And in the front, we have quite a lot of people from Italy or other places who have come here as the counselor from our India. And also we have a lot of investment being done. People like Ritesh Jain, we have Aadhar, heading the director of Aadhar from Bombay. And of course, all of you are here. So one thing is certainly that the subject given, of course, I was contacted yesterday night that how India in the 2030, or of course, our major mission is India by 2047 has to become Vikasit Bharat. That is the vision of our Prime Minister, but it is a commitment of all the 140 crore people whose aspiration is to see that India is not an emerging country alone, India has to become a developed country. So what it changes from the developing country or emerging country to developed country. So naturally today we would have been having a per capita income of around $2,800 US dollars, whereas advanced countries are having much, much higher. So if we really make 30 trillion economy by 2047 or maybe 2040, our per capita income will go to $18,000 to $20,000 per India, means per average person. So then naturally you can imagine the level of their consumption pattern, their level of living, their need for aspiration for more and more newer areas of products and services, all that will change. Not that India currently also is a reasonably one of the we are the third largest. Of course, recently due to the rupee devaluation, that position has slightly gone down, but it is only in terms of the rupee versus dollar. But otherwise, we are one of the fastest growing country, and we are likely to reach now third. It can become second also. So to that extent, this developed status is very important. But if the developed status has to be achieved, what has to be done? So the most important is both the private sector and public sector should make large investments. So India not only has to utilize our own savings for investment, but India has to keep its open door for foreign investment. So we have been having substantially, this year, 90 billion US dollars is the overall what we call FDI. So in the last 3-5 years, we have a good FDI. But at the same time, we are also sending our capital to international investments. So quite a lot of Indian corporates are investing abroad, or the people who have invested here, they are getting a good dividend and they are taking the money abroad. So when you do in terms of the net FDI, recent days our net FDI has been lesser. So what we have to do is that the driver or the lever of investment will have to be simple, it should be transparent, and we must be able to give easy way of doing business, and even tax predictability should be clear. And if that ecosystem is already there, but we have to further improvise, because whether it is today, the entire infrastructure, what you are enjoying in terms of the public transport, or in terms of the railways, or in terms of the port, or in terms of any other public utility, all that, including in power, all that, now major expenditure is done by the government of India and each respective state government. You are aware that this year itself, we are spending around 12 lakh crores from the government for capex. But that capex by the government will provide opportunity for the private sector. But the only thing is, currently the private sector in India, in spite of providing tax concession and all, they are little slow in investment. They may be doing some of the, your alternative energy, solar, wind, or some of the sunrise industries, now the semiconductor business, or such of the newer areas, these, and even your data centers. These are all the areas where new investment is coming from the private as well as from the international collaboration. And you are aware, in the current budget, they have given for data centers, if it is invested through foreign investor, they will get 25 years of tax exemption. So that is the level of support exclusively for this data center, and also GCC. Now India is having around maybe 2,000 GCC. That likely to go up to maybe over a period of time, it will go to 3,000, 5,000 GCC. So currently, the GCC, they are the only, earlier our IT services were absorbing more number of employable youth. Now, GCC means it is giving the global backup service, that is global capability centers. So in that, all the multinational banks and multinational MNC companies, all of them, so different sector-wise, they are found that India is a better place to have GCC, and with these type of concession, because coupled with the data center, there will be more opportunity. So now why I am talking all this is, the banking and your other financial services like insurance or NBFC and fintech and startup. So you have a golden opportunity. The subject is, by 2030, the 10 trillion economy, when we are achieving, what are the opportunities it provides for all of them? So only when we do this type of investment, coupled with the innovation, because there is, and technology. So the IMF talks that India can achieve, because there are countries who made an intent to achieve the developed economy, but they could not achieve. But India has the capability and India has the commitment. So in that respect, we need young and energetic people to think differently, think also and act and achieve. And that's why, unless we innovate, unless we give our heart to that and that make it to happen, and people, there is wherever good intent is there, good cause is there, good pain point being serviced through the fintech, then investments will come. And banks are also thinking of collaborating. Earlier, we thought that fintech may be which will be our competitor. But things have changed. Today, banks are not only investing in the startup, and banks are also looking for fintech collaboration. And where we have, just now the unified our UIDAI, that all of you are aware, JAM. What is this JAM Trinity? Anybody can tell? What is this JAM Trinity? Jandhan accounts were opened after our Prime Minister took over. Then your mobile phone, with that was also given. So Jandhan, mobile and Aadhaar. With this Trinity, today we could cover almost all 140 crores of people, their account. And banks have, the people who are not covered by the banking is hardly 3%. Now with these accounts, their connectivity the banking has established. But what else has to be done? They have to be economically also, they have to be empowered. So this economic empower, I just met Basic, they are giving housing loan through the fintech, where they are collaborate with the bank. So this type of micro and small enterprises. Now, other than the big, medium and other thing, micro and small, that's why the government has come with the Mudra loan. Now, this Mudra loan, there is a recently that has been increased to 20 lakhs from the earlier 10 lakhs. So, banks are now with these, and also there is a, yesterday the government of India has come with the 100% credit guarantee scheme for MSMEs who are being disturbed through this Gulf crisis, or other than MSME also. Similarly, aviation sector. So we have a very positive regulator, the Reserve Bank of India, or SEBI, or PFRDA, or your Insurance Regulatory Development Authority. All of them are very positive towards new innovation and fintech and startup. And they have also started the, what you call, innovation, or what you call sandbox, where any of their innovation can be applied through them, and with the government, that regulated area, that will be put into what you call its efficiency and use. And once that compliance part is being approved through the sandbox, your product will be highly appreciated. So what I that no, the opportunities are larger enough. We have to only be the part of the ecosystem, and we must be very vibrant and active, and that's where the India will achieve that is the confidence and the what call trust that we will achieve Vikasit Bharat. Of course, like the COVID, or the next what came now, Middle East, this problem, or some of those external events bring some halt to our growth. Like we were growing at the rate of 8.5 to 9% growth. And sometime our recovery also was 9.25 after COVID, where 1 year we had a negative, but we came back. But the current growth rate looks like 6.5, even though 6.5 minimum, but that would not be suffice. If we have to expedite our Vikasit Bharat, we need to be. So in the banking industry also, today the average growth rate of credit is around 14%, whereas our credit to GDP is still around 60%. Internationally, the credit to GDP is more than 100%, 145%. So that means our ability to absorb credit and our ability to take loan, even though it is vast, like in small, 25 lakhs of crores are there still borrowing from the unorganized lenders. So that is where we have to mop up them to the organized folder. So similarly, the bank has to grow if it has to be, because there is a direct correlation of bank lending and the GDP growth. So we need to expedite. I don't say that we need to be aggressive in lending, because to that extent there are quite a lot of risk management, risk assessment, and underwriting standards. All that fintechs have innovated, banks have also developed. With that measured risk management, we must go around 20-25%. That is the potential of India. Other side is the major problem that the banks are not able to get resources. After COVID, most of the people have gone into the demat account. And on the demat account, now they have started moving the money to the mutual funds or their own and SIPs. And with that, mutual funds are growing much, much, much faster. Abhi 60 lakhs tak unka funds mobilize ho gaya. Of course, that will again get invested in the equity, debt market and all. But the banks will be losing the float fund, or banks will be losing so resource mobilization has been hardly 10% or sometime 12%. But it is on an average, resources have become difficult. So today, in that area also, your fintech should innovate how to get more customers to the banking fold, how to ensure that their savings are mopped up, and because without the resources, lending becomes difficult. That's where the Reserve Bank quite often, like even after COVID this year, highest amount of money they have pumped in for ensuring that the productive credits needs are felt, which is in the longer term for Vikasit Bharat or 30 trillion to be achieved. So the resource mobilization of the banks is one of the important aspects. Second, today if we cannot leave that wealth management, here also it is written, wealth management should be part of the ecosystem of the banks also. Now if I say I don't have wealth management product, I don't have a risk management product, then banks, customers will not be looking at you only on resource mobilization and other services. So we need to have a tie-up, and banks have taken some of them. So some of the foreign banks and other things, why they get a better, or even new generation bank, because they have the wealth management tie-up. So today, if I myself, so in, of course, regulator also have to come forward. Like, other day we were asked in one of the conference, why banks and financial institutions are not permitted for commodity market trading. We are not members of there. So tomorrow it may be a necessity. You cannot be away from there. So whether commodity market or in terms of gold, silver or copper or oil, getting them risk management product, as well as a direct investment in equity and other bonds, there banks are permitted. So if we are able to give a variety of investment product with the average return is higher than the normal saving rate, because every time asking tax concession, government cannot give. Government has said that tax concessions will not be there in the new scheme. But it is only your innovation and creativity. So I am sure today Bharat FinTech and other insurance also. Similarly, insurance, we were just discussing, average penetration is hardly 3 to 4%. Globally, it is 7%. So that means the depth of our insurance. But whenever COVID happened, everybody must have felt, had the insurance cover would have been there, you would have been better off, your family would have been safe. So insurance also, that's why banks also sell the insurance as a bank assurance, and some banks have equity in the insurance company. But its penetration, that's why the government has kept, by 2047, we will have insurance for all. Now, how that will achieve? Again, by insurance tech companies. So you need to innovate and come with the product, and maybe a few are there. So insurance is another thing. Of course, NBFC sector. NBFC sector today, they cover all types of customers, but generally it is not available for, it is maybe a privilege or maybe a known people. So whereas they have to go into the bottom of the pyramid and ensure. So are the NBFCs are interested in taking that risk and reach through the, like our Aadhar Saab mentioned, that they can give your KYC and other due diligence quickly through them, their own direct access. And if that is there, then banks should be able to have rating agencies or analyze the customer's behavior through the approved agency and other newer methodology where you could find the full behavior pattern. Then they should be, NBFC should be able to lend. So friends, I am knowing that today Saab has said that a lot of speaking order has been kept. What is the intention is to reach out to all the people who will have the benefit of that. I hope that the three days conference which is organized here will be full of benefits to you and take away. And I wish the conference all the best, and I take pleasure in inaugurating this conference. Thank you.
Sir, Mairpady Saab, आइए.